Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas, with this inspirational morning talk. For first-time listeners, I'm on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:45 a.m. That is Central Time. You can calculate the time zone you're in. But yes, happy. Today's Ash Wednesday, right? Ash Wednesday, to all who celebrating this holy week here, just before Easter. I know this is a very important time on the Christian calendar. Very important time on the Christian calendar. As I always remember, a quick story. This is not part of what I prepare, but it just came to my mind. And I was playing basketball in Guyana. Just made the youth team, the national, I think it's a Georgetown or a national youth selection, and there was a team coming from Miami to play us first international little game, and this was over the Easter weekend, and we had a serious practice Easter morning. And the coach said, "Hey, shout out to Mr. Mike Brush if he's still listening, if around." But the coach said, "You we have to make that morning practice. If not, I think we had one game already. The next game was like on Easter Monday, the Monday, and he said, all who didn't make the practice cannot play. Cannot play." So I said, and it was church time, it was the time when we had church, right? I tell my mother, I was like 16 years old, and my mother said, "Look, I don't care which team you playing on. Easter is the biggest day on the Christian calendar, and you going to go to church. I don't care, but no basketball. You're gonna go to church." I said, "Well, coach, gotta kick me off. I can't play because my mother saying I got to go to church." Easter's the biggest celebration, the biggest day on the Christian calendar for what it signifies. I didn't understand what my mother understand back then. I was just 16, it's just Easter. I could miss it, but for her, no, this is serious business. So, long story short, coach said, "Okay, come right after church. At least come to a part of the practice where you can catch." And I did. I did go to church, and right after church, I rushed down there. But I remember God saying, "Seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness, then everything else will be added unto thee." That didn't come to me about years after what he did there. And I went to the practice after church. I could not miss a shot. I could not miss a shot. I was shooting from all angles to the court and score. And then the next day we go into the game and the same thing happened. I was shooting men in my face and I was just making shots, then even seeing the basket. And it's not till about years after, when I was growing in my 30s, he said, and I was doing a Bible study, he said, "You see, you seek me first. You seek me first. You obey your mother, you seek me, and see how everything fall into place." I don't know why it just come up to me to say that. But anyhow, let me get into a message today. Because this is Easter week and this is seriousness will go on here, right? But I can take a next little story here and we can break it down. We can break this story down, right? First, I want to start off with this this scripture here. And then you're going to see. I want to start off with John 10:17-18. John 10:17-18. "The reason my Father loves me is that I lay down my life only to take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down on my own accord. I have authority to lay it down and authority to take it up again. This command I receive from my Father." Guys, anytime we see this in red in the Bible and Jesus is talking, pay attention to every single word, because he does not say idle stuff. And everything he says, he has to back it up. Man, that got to be a pressure. Everything you say is law. Everything you say, you got to back up. So anytime you see this Bible in red or Jesus said something, we got to take every word serious, right? So he's saying here, the reason he knows his Father loves him is that I lay down my life only to take it up again. He was talking about the resurrection. I lay down my life and then I can come up again, right? No one takes it from me. No one can take my life from me. I lay it down and I can take it up. No one can take it from me. And it's the reason why I might get into that on Friday. No one take it from me. But I lay it down on my own accord. I lay it down on my own accord. I have authority to lay it down and authority to take it up again. This command I received from my Father. So no one can take my life. I said it to lead into what I'm going into, a little part of the story that I'm going into. That's why I started off with that. I'm not really focusing on that, but I want to point out anything in red that Jesus is saying in this Bible. Take every word serious. He don't talk idle talk. He don't. There's no idleness, right? So I want to look at today is the death of Lazarus, right? This is John 11. John 11, we can look at the portion of John 11, the death of Lazarus, right? There's something in here. I can read the whole portion after about, a couple of well scriptures, because there's something in here for everyone. And to this Holy Week we in, there's something in here for everyone, right? So let's start out. The death of Lazarus, this is John 11. John 11. So now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. Remember the story, right? Good morning, Jillian. Good morning, big sis. How are you doing? So the sister sent word to Jesus. Lord, the one you love is sick. The sister sent somebody with a message to get Jesus. And the one you love is sick. When he heard this, Jesus said, again, this is in red. Jesus is talking. Pay attention to every word he's saying. Jesus said, this sickness will not end in death. This sickness will not end in death. Is the reason why I'm stressing that. Jesus sent back to tell them, this sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it. He said, this sickness, and no Lazarus sick, it's not going to end in death. It's to God's glory, for his Son to be glorified through it, right? Now, Jesus loved Mary and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. And then he said to his disciples, let us go back to Judah. He got his message that his good friend sick. He said, man, that sickness ain't going to end in death. But his sister saying this man is really sick. Jesus, right? Cheryl Roberts, good morning, good morning. So he's saying, the sickness is not ending in death, but this man is sick, right? Jesus stayed 2 more days. So you got your situation that you're going to Jesus with right now, praying. Things are bad with you. You're sick. You need finances. Patricia Blackman, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Right? You sick. You going to him, and you guys who just joined, we talking about the death of Lazarus here right now. We got to point out some real nice piece of nuggets in this. You got something for everyone, right? So Jesus said his sickness will not end in death. Now Jesus loved Mary and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. And when he said to his disciples, let us go back to Jerusalem. So he heard the man sick and he stayed 2 more days. You praying right now for Jesus, to God, to your situation that you're going through, and like he ain't coming. Jesus still staying more days. He ain't answering you. He ain't coming to help you. You don't get no relief in your situation, and you say, man, look what's going on. Jesus, what's going on? Or you going to stay 2 more days and you know my situation here, what's going on with me. I don't know what I can eat tomorrow. I don't know what I can go tomorrow. The bank said you getting evicted tomorrow. This is my reality. And you staying 2 more days? Why you can't come now, man? I'm sick. Right? But Rabbi, they said, and then after heard Lazarus was sick, he stayed there where he was for 2 more days. And then he said to his disciples, he stayed 2 more, then he said, let's go back. Like he ain't taking this thing urgent. Why is not treating my situation urgent? But I tell you, anything in red in this Bible that Jesus is saying, you got to hang on to every word. What did he start off by saying? This sickness will not end in death. When the people bring messages, Lazarus is sick. This sickness was not end in death. So it don't matter how long I delay it. I said that sickness is not going to end in death. I don't need to rush. I saying the stuff you're going through is not going to destroy you. I saying they're going to take no house from you. Even if they take that, I can give you a bigger one. I am saying that you could be broke right now like the 10 Commandments, and I could restore you right. You could become a millionaire right away, a billionaire right away. I said the sickness is not getting in death. I ain't got no rush. I said that, and if I said that, you could hold me to it. So he stays 2 more days. He said, okay, let's go back now. But here are the disciples. Well, Rabbi, they said, a short while ago, the Jews there tried to stone you, and yet you are still going back. The Jews there tried to stone you and kill you, Jesus, and you still going back to that city? That's why I start off by saying this in John 10:17-18. Jesus is speaking again. You got to take it serious. You see, they're missing it. They're missing it, right? Like a lot of us do. We do miss it a lot. The reason why I start off saying that just before in John 10, the reason, this is Jesus saying, the reason my Father loves me is that I lay down my life only to take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay down. Jesus saying, no man can't kill me. I can get into the principles of that maybe on Friday. He's confident, no man can't take my life. So you telling me them Jews are trying to stone me? They don't care about them. No one can take my life. Terry Pilgrim, they can't take my life, so I don't scare when they're trying to stone me, what they're trying to do. I say going back to Judah, I'm going back to Judah because no one can take my life. I'm confident about that. My Father gave me the authority. There's a reason behind that. Right? So Jesus said that they're saying, but the Jews there tried to stone you, and yet still you are going back? Jesus, you crazy? Jesus answered, are there not 12 hours of daylight? Here Jesus giving them a little parable here, see if they get it. Are there not 12 hours of daylight? Anyone who walks in the daytime will not stumble, for they see by the words, but they see by the world's light. It is when a person walks at night that they stumble, for they have no light. Okay, Jesus saying quickly, I ain't gonna spend too much time on this right now. Jesus saying quickly, once you're doing right and you're living right and you're following my word and you're following me, you're walking in light. You don't gotta fear nothing. Point blank. You don't gotta fear nothing. One day gonna take this scripture and we can drill down it. But in a nutshell, he's saying, once you are living right and you walk with me, you're walking with the kingdom of light. You don't gotta fear nothing. Jews throwing rocks, stuff coming, you don't gotta fear that because you walking with me. You're in the light. You're going to see all the traps on the ground, the broken bottle, the stone. You're going to see everything. But when you're walking in darkness, when you're following other gods, when you're doing the voodoo, the obeah, all of that, then you got to scared because you're walking in darkness. Then you got to scared. You can't see what's on the ground. Jesus say, look. 12 hours a day. How much hours a night? How much hours of darkness? You could walk with me and walk in the 12 hours of light, or you could walk in dark and get scared and stumble and tripping over. But if you're walking with me, you're walking in light. Jesus said, okay, done with that, right? After he had said this, he went on to tell them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I'm going there to wake him up. Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I'm going there to wake him up. His disciples replied, Lord, if he sleeps, he will get better. Jesus had been speaking of his death, but the disciples thought he meant natural sleep. He said, man, okay, y'all ain't getting this stuff, right? So Jesus had to tell them plainly what he's talking about. So then he told them plainly, Lazarus is dead, people. Man, y'all got to get this. He's dead, right? He's dead. Okay, he's dead. And for your sake, I'm glad I was not there so that you may believe, but let us go to him. She said, man, the man dead, right? Okay. According to what people say, he dead, right? Now, I know he just sleeping. Because I tell you before, this sickness will not end in death, right? Okay. Then Thomas, also known as Didymus, said to the rest of the disciples, let us also go that we may die with him. He still didn't get this. He's saying, you know what, Jesus said, you're going back. I know these Jews were trying to stone him to kill him. Let us all go back with him. So I don't mind dying with him because I know these Jews trying to kill him. So let us go back with him so we can die with him. I mean, Jesus tell you, no man can kill me, bro. You see, it's in red. When Jesus speak, we got to take it serious. He said, no man can kill me. I got to lay down my life. Now you're saying, but let's go so we can die with him. Still missing the point. All right. That's all well and good. Let's go on. Jesus comfort the sisters. On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus has already been in the tomb for 4 days. Jesus got this information. He know Lazarus in the tomb for 4 days. I want you to remember that because I can come back to it. He said he knows Jesus was in the tomb for 4 days. Now, Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, and many Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them in the loss of their brother. So these people come to, the wake and everything to comfort them. Lazarus dead 4 days now, just keeping the company. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed at home. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I sent a message to you telling you the sickness is not end in death. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask. She's saying, I know that, but I still believe that even now that God can still give you what you ask. Well, nice and good. Our faith is nice in line there, right? She still believes that even now, right? Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Jesus said, your brother will rise again. Martha answered, I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Then Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection, right? I am. Pamela Jefferson, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing, sis? I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though they die. This is Jesus talking this in red. We got to analyze everything he's saying. He don't talk idle talk. He's saying, I am the resurrection, woman, and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though they die. And that's what this whole Easter week is all about, right? This is an Easter message here. He said, I am the resurrection. The one who believes in me will live. Even though they die, you're going to still live. That's how he come and conquer death. But we might go into that on Friday. He said, even though you dead, you're going to still live. Because death can't hold you in the grave, right? And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. So when you body go into the ground and this physical and say you die, it's just the suit. It's just you being extracted from this suit. You ain't die, he's saying. If you believe in me, you ain't going to die. That suit going back into the ground, this dirt, just where it come from, and you going to still live with me, right? Do you believe this? He asked her, do you believe this? Let me read it over. I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? Hear what she said. Yes, Lord, she replied. I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who is to come into the world. And that's what my message was on Monday, right? I'm telling you, we all got to answer this question and get it right. Who remember here? Who did it say I am? When he asked the disciples, when Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked the disciples, who do people say the Son of Man is? The people who listen on Monday know this is what we talk about. We said, we got to get this question right. Who do people say the Son of Man is? They replied, some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and still others Jeremiah, or one of the other prophets. He said, okay, I know what they're saying. But who do you say I am? This is when Peter answered, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. Now the same way Martha answered here. Martha said, yes, I believe. Because if she didn't believe this and get this question right, Jesus was gone his way. Because if you don't believe and get this question right, that he's the Son of God, and that's what a lot of religion getting tied up with when they talk about Jesus. This is what this here they're saying. A lot of people saying he's just a good Messiah. They know he did some good stuff, but he's just a Messiah, right? That's what I'm saying. We all got to face with this question, and we got to get it right if we can need our breakthroughs. So she answered this question right. So Jesus said, well, now I can proceed and do what I need to do. Ask her, do you believe this? She answered, yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who is to come into this world. She got the question right. We all got to get the question right. So, okay, Jesus said, okay, I can do my thing now. Once you believe that, we good. After she had said this, he went back and called her sister Mary aside. After she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. The teacher is here, she said, and he's asking for you. When Mary heard this, she got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus has not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews who had been with Mary in the house, comforting her, noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supposing she was going to the tomb to mourn there. right? When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Jesus said his death didn't end in sickness early on, right? When Jesus saw her weeping and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. Jesus wept. Then the Lord said, see how then the Jews said, see how he loved him? But some of them said, could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man kept this man from dying? He opened the eyes he couldn't stop this man from dying. Jesus said, this man is dead, he's sleeping. But see, we're not taking what Jesus says seriously, right? We're still going off of our own thinking. And that's what a mistake a lot of we're making today. Jesus, then this is going on. Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. He come to the tomb, the stone lay across the entrance. How they used to make the graves then, right? Take away the stone, he said. Take away the stone. This got a next meaning to it. So I can go on and then tell you what's done. But here Martha responds, no, but Lord, said Martha, the sister of the dead man, she can give Jesus a lecture or education into mortuary science now, right? You remember Jesus had this information already that Lazarus died 4 days, right? Remember when I tell you stick a pin there, remember that? On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus has already been dead for 4 days. Jesus knows this. But she can begin to lecture Jesus and give him a little history, mortuary science, because Jesus don't know what go on when somebody dead. So she got to educate him. Right, so here she educating him now. Jesus said, remove the stone from in front of the grave. But Lord, Martha said, the sister of the dead man, by this time, there's a bad odor, for he has been dead for 4 days. But Jesus, if you don't know what happened when somebody died, after a certain time, did it start to smell, Jesus? Did it start to smell? I mean, I thought you know this, but I can just got to refresh your memory. What happened when somebody died? It can start smelling, right? Then Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? That stone is a physical stone, but it's also our doubt and our disbelief, right? You remember she said she believe here. How much of us do this? I'm guilty of this. How much of us do this? Jesus, I believe you're the Son of God. I believe you can heal me. I believe you can get me out of the situation I'm in. But when you face your trial, you got a problem removing that stone. You still got a little doubt. But I can't see no way how I can get out of this right now, this situation I'm in. The judge tell my child he going to jail for life. The thing done, he got everything done, written up and signed. I don't see 4 days he's dead. This situation is dead, done, buried, and stinking. When we faced with that, we still got problem removing the stone, even though we say we believe. That's what Jesus was telling her. You tell me before you believe. I ask you if you believe this, you give me the right answer that I'm the Son of God and all of the good stuff. But now you got problem removing this stone. And let it sink in. Now you got problem removing the stone because you think your situation is so far gone. This body is stinking and I can't do it. But yet still you tell me you believe. Remove the stone. So for a lot of us, that's where our breakthrough lies. I'm talking to myself too. For a lot of us, we got a problem removing the stone because we don't want to smell the dead body that's behind there. But yet still we say we believe. And Jesus is telling us, remove the stone. So I could deal with your situation. I could give you a breakthrough is behind the stone where the dead body is. And if you got the faith to remove the stone, and believe when you remove the stone, you're not going to meet a stinking body. That's where our breakthrough is, right behind the stone that we having problems to remove. The little doubt that our situation is so far gone that even God can't even do nothing about it. God, you take everything from me. I can't see no way how you could restore me. Remove the stone, and you're going to see there's not no dead body behind there. Let's go on. Then Jesus said, didn't I tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? So they took away the stone. Now they're removing the stone. Now they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, here are Jesus' words. This is in red in your Bible. Everything he's saying, you got to take it serious. Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me. I know this. But I said this for the benefit of these unbelievers here. He said that unbelievers. I put the part in. But I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you send me. I just doing this whole thing for them. But I don't know you hear me and don't know we don't know what we're doing with Lazarus. We don't know we're reasonable. I can just put on this list so they can believe. I'm doing this for their purpose. But when he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. The dead man came out. His hands and feet was wrapped in straps of linen and a cloth around his face. That's how they used to wrap the dead bodies, wrap them up in this gauze and stuff, right? Jesus said to them, take off the grave clothes and let this man go. When you get the faith to remove the stone, he said, take off the grave clothes. Let this man go. Let this man go. Guys, so this is the whole Easter week we in. The stuff of Jesus died for us and our sins. We got to believe this, and we got to believe this with all our heart. And even when the situation reaches dead 4 days and the body is stinking, know that Jesus, once you say you believe here, you still got to believe then that it could be done. Don't believe in the beginning and when the situation get really bad. Jesus deliberately stayed 2 more days. He deliberately said in the beginning of the story, he heard the man was sick. He said, this ain't going to end in death. I ain't got to rush. Got a situation you're going through, you know it's not going to destroy you. Yeah, you're going through some discomfort. But he says it's not going to destroy you. I ain't got to rush. I know I can get the glory out of this. When everybody see this here, you're you, and then I restore you, then they can say there is a God. It only got to be God. So sometimes you're going through right now, this story, I hope it brings you some hope. Even if your situation you think is dead, and the stinking, nothing can't come back. It's impossible, God. He's done stinking. And Jesus saying, didn't I tell you if you believe I could do this? Didn't I tell you if you believe I can still do this? So guys, I want this Easter week. I understand this is serious stuff that he did for us when he died on the Friday. It was Good Friday. He make all of this stuff possible. His death make all of this stuff possible. And we could go through the principles of the resurrection on Friday, and then you can get a better understanding why all of this is possible and what he really done for us. And we don't need to take that lightly. Once we believe, and he said once you walk in the light, you're good. You don't got to fear nothing. As he tells us, it's 12 hours of light. You walk in the light, you're good. All right? I know we went on a little long today, but I had to bring home this message. I tried to chop it up and bring pieces, and God said, no, I want you to bring the whole thing. You got to tell them the whole story. Don't give pieces of it. So I had to go through that whole part there. So anyhow, you guys have a great, great day. Enjoy your Holy Week, your Ash Wednesday for who's celebrating. We'll talk again on Friday, which is Good Friday. All right. Goodbye.